morning everybody, happy new year. 2023 is here now. It's New Year's Day, Sunday, and it is 10 to 3. Just want to do a little bit on this car we're in at the minute, which is the white GLS 63. We showed you this basically just before we finished off the last video. I think this was in the car park possibly. Somebody asked a question, what's the car like? He said you're going to do a review on it. It's not going to be a full review, I'm not going to be in and out the car. Just while I'm driving it, I'll go through a couple of things. So I suppose the best thing about this car, the motor. It's a 5.5 litre V8 twin turbo. So it's the AMG, this is the AMG motor, 500 and, I think it's just shy of 580 horsepower, 5.7 something, so 580 horsepower. It's obviously 4-wheel drive, 0 to 60, about 4.5 seconds, so you're going to be keeping up with some pretty powerful road cars at 4.5 seconds. You know, anything you can get sub 5 seconds on the streets, then you're going to be doing pretty good. Top speed is supposed to be limited to 155 on a private road. Obviously I've had this up to about 170 and it was effortless. You know, it wasn't all over the road. I think because it's such a long wheelbase, it keeps it lovely and stable. Really like ultra stable. Doing the same sort of speeds and things like Audi R8s, which look as if they should be doing that speed, and this was as stable, which is strange. Obviously this literally is built like the Titanic. It's big, huge, ironically it's white, but it honestly, it does handle really well. Even sort of fast corner and stuff like that, it doesn't waddle all over the road. It's got this dial down here which has got about 1 million settings, so you've got comfort, sport plus, and then a little snowflake there. I'm assuming that's slippy, icy conditions, something like that. So the bad point on any car, I suppose, road tax. I think I've drove about 500 potholes just on this little bit of road here, but still you've got to pay about 630 quid a year, I think it is, on the road tax on this. But you know, if you're going to buy something like this, don't buy it because you want cheap motoring. You're not going to get cheap motoring. Everything on this is going to be expensive. But you know, it's like, it's 2.2 meters wide, it's 5.2 meters long. It is a big thing, and it's not going to be cheap to run. You know, you'll be getting very little mile per gallon. So I go on the computer at the moment. I've literally just been doing 30-40 mile an hour around the doors, and I'm getting 16.2 mile per gallon. Probably like 100 miles to the gallon, because everywhere you go, as soon as you just a little bit of throttle, it just reminds you why you would buy this one. You wouldn't buy the 350 diesel over this if you wanted to smile everywhere you drove. Honestly, it sounds awesome. You'll not be able to hear the sound really through the GoPro, but honestly, what an amazing sound. I think when you adjust this little knob here, it maybe opens up a couple of flaps in the exhaust, because you can hear it a little bit more once I want in the Sport Plus. To be honest, anything I drive, I just put it into the highest mode and drive it all the time. I don't know why you get a top of the range car and think, oh, I'll turn it down a bit. You know, just, you may as well have a vodka and coke and then just put some water in just to knock the edge off of you. So the 105 grand, I think they are brand new. This one's actually being lent to us from We Buy Cars For More on Scottswood Road. I'll stick a little link in the corner there for this this actual car for sale. It's only got 25-ish thousand mile. It's still literally, it's immaculate inside. The woodwork's really good. The leather's still really clean. You know, the passenger seat and the rear seats very rarely sat in. I don't think the 7 seats in the back have probably ever been sat in. It's a really nice model. It's got all the options that you would want really from the factory. Someone's already has ticked the boxes. There's not much I don't like about this car. I think if you were maybe a little used to like littler cars, even if you're used to something like a, you know, like a Discovery, this is quite a bit bigger than Discovery. So if you find parking a Disco 4 or Disco 5 a little bit tricky, this probably isn't the car for you. Loads of cameras, mind. Cameras literally all over the place. So it does help you. As soon as you're in reverse, the camera comes on the screen. It'll nearly park itself. They might even have self-park this thing, to be honest with you, but I've never looked. Heated seats, chill seats. It's got the Alcantara on the steering wheel. It's got the leather dash. Literally all the options I would normally pick, this car's already got it. And if you noticed in the last video, we showed you on the outside, this car's got the big AMG brakes. It's got the good wheels. It's got 4 very good Pirelli tyres. It's coming into us for a service anyway. It's not quite due a service, it's coming up, so they just want that done before it gets sold. I noticed that the front brake pads are getting slightly down, so they've already said to put the brake pads in, just make the car back to perfect, how it should be really. I don't know if you hear that noise there, but we're literally doing no speed at all here, 30 mile an hour. It sounds amazing. Anything with the V8 in, I'm sold. They're horrendous on fuel, they're loud. You know, sometimes you get a V8, they're a little bit lazy. But as soon as it's got a V8 in it, that's it, I'm sold. Ask anybody who's into cars, you'll probably ask them the noise of a car, and you know, V8 wins every time. We have got some good things coming up actually in the coming weeks. We're going to try and spend a little bit more time outside the garage. So if I am going out of the garage, I'm going to try and either take this GoPro that we're filming on now with us, or I'll try and take Ed or Jim with us, because we do a lot of stuff that either people want to see or other garages don't do day to day, and we sort of take it for granted because it's just happens every day with us. So a lot of garages say, oh wow, you know, I can't believe you do this or do that, or some of the cars that you're working on, or some of the service that you offer. We never seem to get it on video, because originally we didn't think what we did was special. We just thought it was normal, day to day. And obviously when you get used to the garage, the size of the garage, everything does feel normal. But then I do love seeing people's face when they first walk in. You know, that walk in that reception and you always get the like, wow, you know, I wasn't expecting that. And it's nice to see still that people do appreciate the fact that we will go the extra mile every time to try and get either the job done for you or make the customer happy. And I'm not saying that every customer we have is happy, because they're not. You know, if you ever go to a company and you know they say, oh, we have 100% satisfaction, they must only have one customer, and it must be the mother or something, because I don't believe it is a way to keep everybody happy. I can guarantee if you go to a garage, you know, close to us on the Team Valley, you get a price off them, then you get a price off us. We probably aren't going to win on price, but we will win on quality. That's what we always strive to do, is win on quality. We don't ever, you know, try and like price match or have a race to the bottom, anything like that. You know, I said in the last video or the video before, whenever it was, about servicing, you know, if you say, yeah, okay, your full service versus their full service, right, fantastic, you know, why are we £150 more expensive, say, than a garage down the road? Well, does the garage down the road use OE equipment parts? Do they have a dealer tools to do the job right? Are they changing the same amount of filters? Are they using the correct quality and grade of oils? You know, it's literally endless amounts of questions you could ask. But it's exactly the same in the garage. You know, there's a lot of garages in North East will come to us for either us to do the job, or they will want to borrow the tool. I mean, I would hate to think the amount of money we've spent on tooling or diagnostics gear to do the job right. There's garages in the area come to us for advice about sort of what should they do next, what tools should they buy, what shouldn't they buy, and I'm happy to give advice to any other garage. You know, I don't see the garage down the road as competition. You know, for how many cars are on the road, there shouldn't be a competition really. You know, it's up to the customer to choose where they go. The customer's happy to go there, and the customer is happy with our service, then they'll come to us. If not, they'll go somewhere else. You know, you get people who always base things on price every time, and like I say, we wouldn't win that race, never. If every time that a customer come, they got a quote, say 3 quotes, and they said, I'm going to pick the cheapest quote every time, we wouldn't have any customers. But luckily we have got customers who, they're not bothered about the price, and you know, our customers aren't millionaires or anything. They literally just want a job done right, they want it done by the right people in the right garage, and they want it done with the right parts, the right tools, all that sort of stuff. You know, there's the amount of cars we get in as well that have been to another garage, say, they might have been charged £500 to diagnose a fault, and then actually when we get it, I'm not saying every job, but we could diagnose that car in an hour, which would be a fifth of the price of what they've been quoted elsewhere, and it wasn't even the same fault. You know, it was misdiagnosed by another garage. I remember the other garage can only use the tools that's available to them, and if they haven't got very good diagnostics gear, or you know, maybe the techs aren't trained very well, then yeah, you know, that's where your hourly rate goes out the window. Because what difference does it make what your hourly rate is if you take twice as long as us? No, we've got equipment that makes the job faster, so not only do we gain because the technician's not on it as long, and it means you get on another job, but the customer always gains because the job's done quicker, so they pay less labour. Anyway, I've rabbited on and on about the garage, where actually all I want to do is listen to this car because it sounds awesome. So I just want to literally have a quick talk about this car, really, just because it's awesome. I think I've probably been converted from a Range Rover Vogue, and normally a Vogue is my go-to car. Every single time I would always go to a Range Rover Vogue. I've drove it every kind of Vogue, I think, from like a classic, you know, soft dash to P38, L322, the 405, literally a brand new shape as well. The brand new shape that was also from We Buy Cars Some More, and as soon as you get a Range Rover, it's like nothing like a Range Rover. It is amazing feeling. But this car here it's got something else. It's not the same, but there's something tricky about this car. I really like it, and the space is unbelievable. Like, so there's the seats on the back of these seats here. There's the tellies, great for the kids. You can literally just put them a little DVD on or whatever it is, and they can just chill out with that. Headphones on, and keep them occupied. It lets you focus on the driving and lets you listen to the car rather than listen to your kids screaming all day. And then there's another set of seats in the very back. I think so. I'm pretty sure this is about the same size. You'll have to Google it if you're really bothered, like. But there's a car that we use when we go to Florida, called a Cadillac Escalade. The first time you drive one of them, it feels like you're driving with an Arctic trailer on the back. It's massive. But this, you're getting this, and this is about the size of an Escalade. I'm assuming this is the market that they were aiming for. Really, really nice looking car. Really well built. There's no creaks or groans or rattles or anything like that. So you're getting Merc quality. You get the AMG power plant, which is what you really want. The only thing you're going to suffer on with this vehicle is there'll be a bit of a nightmare to park if you're not used to it, and the fuel consumption. That's what will drive you mad. The fuel consumption doesn't bother me as much, but I think in the end, even if you weren't bothered about the money, you get sick of going back to the petrol station. You know, loads of people say, oh, like, you know, you'd have to tow a trailer with a tanker behind you. It's nearly getting as bad as that. So we haven't even been over 40 mile an hour while on this video here, and the fuel consumption's already gone down to about 12.9, and we're literally just on and off the throttle, dead light, but yet we're still doing 12, just below 30 miles a gallon, which I understand if we're flat out everywhere we went, but we haven't been. So yeah, that's the downside. You'd be constantly in that fuel station all the time. I think I put £105 in this yesterday, and it wasn't a full tank, but it wasn't far a full tank, and now we are just on between half and a quarter, and I haven't been very far. Took the kids out yesterday for the dinner, come home, car's been parked up. I've been up next to Newcastle Airport this morning and back, and we've used about 3/4 of a tank nearly, just under, so it's gruesome on fuel, but I don't really give a toss about that, to be fair. Like I say, I'd rather hear the miles per gallon than the miles per gallon, and this is definitely going to give you miles per gallon, guarantee it. Right, sick of hearing me talk, so I'm gonna end the video there, and then it's a bank holiday tomorrow, so I probably won't get any footage tomorrow because I don't think I'm going to work tomorrow. Try and stay away from the place if I can. It's been an unbelievable 2022, like probably busier than we could ever imagined, and that's down to, I suppose, it's down to viewers, it's down to our customers, some of the fleet customers that we've got. You know, we've been really lucky at the fact that we're not chasing work, we're not looking for work. To be fair, most of the time we're actually knocking the work back or giving it away to other garages if we can. But 2022 has been amazing. We'll get some more footage this week, but if you think 2022 has been good, just you wait and see what of 2023. Can't wait to see you. Probably going to see you on Tuesday now. Like I say, off tomorrow. Try and have a full day off if I can. Working 7 days for months on end does wear thin now and again. It's nice to have a day off. So I'll wish you good evening, and I'll see you Tuesday. Good night. Morning everybody. It's 7:10 on the 3rd of January, so this is our first official day back. We open the doors at 8 o'clock. Staff will probably start coming in about 28 normally. Get us a cup of tea and then start work. It's absolutely freezing outside. I think it was -1 when I left the house, and then by the time I got to work it was about 1 degree, so it's a little bit warmer on Team Valley. The start of the day we had about 6 o'clock in the morning. A new member of staff who's new MOT testers text to say he's not going to make it today, so just turn the diary upside down a bit. So I was hoping to get Andy off MOTs and get him onto the work he wants, but today unfortunately he's got a bit of both, because we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 MOTs there to do. I've got loads of paperwork to do, so I'll be doing that. He'll have to jump on the MOTs, and there's also the injector to go in that Jaguar, and he's got the cylinder head to come off the Ranger Wild Track. So pretty busy day for Andy. Callum's got the Jaguar timing chain, just to look at that, just to double check it is that. So it came in on the recovery truck. Recovery truck driver said it wants timing chain. We're just going to double check before obviously go ahead and just start putting engines and stuff into it. He's got a Mondeo for possibly EGR valve, and we've also got a Peugeot partner in for Callum. Oil pressure warning, never good. Taylor has got just a service, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 or 5 services to do, and also the tyre to do on the JDPS truck. That came in with a flat tyre. And Gary has got the dreaded Transit with the water problems still. And Dan's Range Rover, get all the MOT work done. Just thought to say hello in the morning. Ed will be in later on, so I might have a little wander around, see what's actually going on in the workshop. I've just moved the day around a bit there, let's say, just because the new guy won't be in today. Hopefully he'll be in tomorrow, because we've loaded the dairy up already for the next week sort of thing into all the allocations. So if he doesn't come in, it's going to mess it up a little bit, because obviously there's a day's work for him every day, and we'll have to try and fit that day's work across the board and everybody else. Probably end up being I've got to do some OTs, but hopefully we'll be in tomorrow. That'll do for now, and we'll just we'll see you this afternoon. Right, it's Tuesday afternoon. I've ended up in the workshop for most of the day because I thought it was one guy calling sick, but actually it was 2 in the end. Didn't even make it till 8 o'clock, and we're 2 men down, so not the best way to start a new year, but there's worse things happened. In for tomorrow, so you probably will see it again tomorrow. Now we're doing it every day. This little Defender commercial is in for a Can Phantom. It's become one of the most stolen vehicles in the country, so this guy's obviously using his loaf. He's going to get a Can Phantom put on. That'll stop them taking that. Unless they take that away with the crane, they won't be getting that car. And he's just double checking this Discovery Sport. It's just been into this one's just been into a timing chain. Just check, make sure there's no leaks, nothing like that. And the tracking one's adjusting a tiny little bit as well. Obviously all the subframe was out, gearbox out, all that stuff. And the customer says the tracking's just a tiny little bit out. So that's going to go on the tracking machine, and we'll get that all sorted. And then over here, Gary's got a reach job on. This is Dan's Range Rover. I was going to get started a couple of days ago, but never got done. This is getting the tie rods on the back and the top arm on the passenger side. A couple of brake pipes. It's getting the service, the boot button, so the boot to open the full button, not just a glass hatch. That's never worked for a long time. That's getting done. Also getting 4 tyres. So the tyres are on now. I can see it's going to be getting a gearbox service. There's a gearbox filter. That's one of your tie rods for the back. Bonnet catchers, always doing bonnet catchers in these, always season up. Brand new bonnet catchers there. You could mess around and soak them in oil and work them and all that sort of stuff, but you're better off just replacing them. That's the button there for the boot. That goes there. So that just pushes it now, open the boot. That one's been stuck like that for as long as we've had the car coming in, I think. So he's then decided to get it all sorted. What is this? Tailgate latch, I think. I think also the latch was seized as well when we worked it. Yeah, new tailgate latch. So that'll go with the new tailgate button. That'll be on the ramp most of the day tomorrow. And then it'll get retested. Top arms in the back here, absolute nightmare job. Talking of nightmare jobs, this job here just turned into a complete nightmare. Take the injector out of this Jag, tried everything. You get like an injector removal spray, breaks down carbon deposits, things like that. Didn't even touch it. Used a slide hammer, used the hydraulic puller, and in the end we used the air hammer going backwards on a proper adapter that goes on, and it's in the end it's actually snapped the injector in half, so it's left half of the body in the hole, the bit that's seized in, and the rest of it's come out. So that possibly, we'll put some stuff in there, hopefully it magics it out in the morning. If not, that'll probably end up being an engine out, and remove the injectors with the engine out. So it's actually a common problem, this vent here. So if you look on the side of that vent there, that can let water in. If Ed comes around here, so you can see basically where that vent is, that lands here. You can see all this crusty stuff here. That lands on there, goes down here, and fills up those holes where the injectors sit. Then once it basically fills them holes up, obviously it's getting hot and cold, it's just getting corrosion. And then once that corrosion sets in, it's basically a steel-bodied injector, aluminium head, and it's welded in. And it took a lot of force, so even with the slide hammer, if I can find one, that was a link off a big piece of chain. So it's actually had that much force, it's snapped the chain. But there's worse things happen, I suppose. Callum's literally just put a knock sensor onto this. So he took the knock sensor out, and then that was seized in the exhaust, so it's ended up having a rear piece of exhaust and the new knock sensor put in. You just drop it off the lift here, so we program that in, and then once that's programmed, it'll take a test drive. Can Larry, Cal? Yes. Program it in, clear the codes. Splendid. Oh. He's always busy. Are you still busy, Jimmy? Always busy. Why wouldn't Jimmy be busy? Because I had 2 people off that never even got looked at today. But that definitely is going to get looked at tomorrow, because put off forevermore. And this is not St John's Ambulance. Sorry, this is a British Red Cross. We look after the British Red Cross as well as St John's Ambulance and some other ambulances. Somehow this has got something wedged into the radiator, so this we get the front end off, a new radiator put in. We'll have a quick wander outside there to see what's happening out there. It's dark, damp, and not very nice, but we'll have a look. That car park doesn't look too bad. Must be quite a bit picked up. So this is in for get the gearbox rebuilt on this 69 plate Corsa. Input shaft bearings gone. Pretty poor really, it's a 69 plate car. I think it's got maybe 30,000 miles on, and that car's, the gearbox bearings already gone. Pretty poor, but I suppose, you know, it's out warranty now, there's not much we can do. This is the GLS 63 that I was driving. This is coming in, hopefully try and get us in tomorrow, but it's mega busy, so possibly the day after. This is the one that's getting the brakes all round, it's getting pads all round, a full service MOT, we'll health check to see if it needs anything else, but the car's low mileage. Apart from me driving it, it's had an easy life, I think, so we'll get that in, get that health check and get that back. That there's an awesome car, probably one of the, I said it the other day, probably one of the best cars I've drove. And it's big, you get all your stuff in, Christmas tree at the tip, you name it, and the kids, the lot, dog in, you get everything in there, and you can still do, well, more than the speed limit. What else have we got? So everything on this row is ready to go. That BMW there was in for a service. That Discovery Sport there, I don't know if you can see it, it's pitch black. But basically, so that wheel there, that was when it was all icy. The guys basically slid in the ice, done the wheel in. It was going to go away for repair, but actually it's beyond repair, so I'm going to get a new wheel from Dragway Land Rover. That was in for a fuel filter and the Infinity. Very rarely seen Infinity now actually, but that Infinity anyway was in for a service and MOT. I think I only got advised on 2 front tyres, but it's getting rebooked for them. That van got towed in over the weekend off the AA. That was possible turbo, they say. We picked these two cars up this morning on the recovery truck. Honda Jazz, that's a non-start. And this Berlingo, yet again, another snap time belt. Just make sure you keep on top of your time belt intervals, because if you don't, you're going to end up in the back of that truck. And if you end up in the back of that truck and then in the workshop, then your wallet is going to feel it. So just get it serviced properly. I don't know how many times I've said it, just stick to your service intervals. If you stick to them, you've got very little chance of anything going wrong with your car. If you stick to your service interval, use the correct gear on the car, so the right oils, right filters, and the car's getting health checked regular, you shouldn't be getting any major problems with the car. So that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Tomorrow is another absolutely mental day. Hopefully we get fully staffed. If we don't get fully staffed, then it's going to be another late night. I think a couple of guys are going to stay about a couple hours just to finish off some jobs. We did manage to get a lot done today, but we're still behind, obviously. Hopefully 2 guys who are off today, they come in. No, my luck, there'll be 2 coming tomorrow, and there'll be 2 other ones are off. But you know, that's the aim of the game. You can't do nothing about it. You know, this time of year especially, you're getting colds and flus and blah blah blah. But hopefully everyone's in. If we get a full team in tomorrow, we should be flying. The new guy hasn't even seen the garage yet and he's been off, but we'll forgive him a day. I'm going to finish off a couple of jobs, and then hopefully tomorrow I won't be as dirty as this. Ed's clean, Ed's always clean. I'll finish up a couple of jobs tonight, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. See you soon. Right, I thought this night job was going to be a nightmare, but I didn't think it was going to be me doing it. I thought it was going to be Gary doing it. But 5:30 came, Gary disappeared, so got some paperwork done. Like I said, I was going to get it done eventually. I've had an absolute nightmare getting this arm off. So that's the original bush there. So the bolt is still stuck in it. So I've had to basically batter the living daylights out of that. So that normally sits in there, and the arm normally sits around that. So there's the original arm here. So that bush normally sits in there. So basically what I normally do is cut the top of that while it's in the car. So that normally sits in there like that. So I get the grinder in, cut the top of that, fold it open like a can of beans, peel that end of the arm off. Luckily, some miracle, this one come out alright. That one didn't come out alright. So what happened with that one is, there's like a rose joint bush in the top of the hub there. That's that there. That was mangled as well. So there's a lot to play on that. So I managed to get that out anyway with use a standing heater on the outside, use the press to press that back, press it out, and then new one straight in with the press. So I'm going to spend, well, I was going to say it's 10 minutes, but on this job it's probably going to take us forever. I'll put this top arm in, then we'll see how we get on with that. And then see how far we get in. So I'll put a bit of grease on these bolts here, just to stop what we've just gone through for somebody else. Feels stupid that really, because we're probably never going to put another arm on this car. Somebody else will, they'll get the benefit of what we've done for them, but hey ho, what can you do? So that new arm sits in there. I'm pretty sure that sits there. So the only problem with this bolt here, it sits under there, but it sits where the suspension compressor is, so it's very, very tricky getting that bolt in. Other side's not too bad because there's nothing sitting there, the bolt just comes straight out. The bolts that you get easy access to normally come out alright anyway. The bolts sort of you can't get to are normally an absolute nightmare on Land Rover. Land Rover just obviously sit in their technical department think, how can I torture the man who works on this car? Give them the due, always get it like. If we can get that hooked into there, that'd be nice. All the gear in the world is still a nightmare. So, right, I'd say that's probably the worst bolt of them all, is in. That goes there, that one goes there, if I remember rightly. That one sits in there, that one sits in there. Right. Lovely. So that bolts in. So you've got the nut there, that's got the little tab on. That basically just holds it while you turn the bolt to save you air on both sides. It's not a massive help on this one, but it is sometimes when the bolts are a little bit further away, mind. So for that one, we're going to need a 19mm. Right, so sit on the floor for later. that's getting a little bit of a grip on the threads there. You don't want to tighten this all the way up, just going to tighten it probably a full nut. So you're filling up with the threads there. So the next one I'm going to put in is this back one here. This goes through here. So you've got to slide this one out a little touch. So same again, I'm going to apply plenty of grease on there. Just lube her up for the next man. If you ever get this Range Rover in, you've got to do a back arm or anything on here, send me a thank you card. So that bolt just hooks into this side, but it goes through a hole on this side to keep it in. And you've got the same again. So little tab on there, that just keeps that from slipping out. So a lot of people always say that the front arms are the worst on these for seizing up, but in our experience, it's always, the front one's doable. You can get them with a grinder, you can get in and chop stuff, but these back ones here are just an absolute nightmare. Right, so try and tighten this one up. That spanner that I've just dropped. We'll get that the same, get a full nut onto it. Then once you got a full nut, we'll leave it a little bit slack, and then that means we can still get a bit of movement for the end joint. We'll get the brake pipe on and everything first, and once that's all on, give everything a good nip. Right, that's in. And I've got this one here. Lovely. Right, so this bolt here, it's got a eccentric washer on it, so that'll basically adjust that top end movement there for you. So when you get your four-wheel alignment done, obviously this will need it. So there's anything to do with suspension, get your four-wheel alignment done. This one's going to need it because the back end of it's been changed. I just need to check, make sure I've got this on the right way. That goes over the top. And we've got the bottom arm here. So that just just need a little tap down. That's not a million mile away, just a little tap on that. So, that one definitely needs a bit of grease. That one was also Maximus Titus. Right, so this bolt will get nipped but not tightened up, because obviously this one's going to get slackened off for your four-wheel alignment anyway when it goes on the four-poster. So that goes in there. Nut hose goes towards the back. You put your little washer on. So they line up nice. Right, so I'll get a spanner for that. Right, that should be 21. Yes, it is. So I'll show you on here, if I can get this camera off here. So basically, when you're doing the four-wheel alignment, when you move that, I don't know whether you can see, but that's actually moving where the bolt is. So if you look at this gap here, from here to here, it's actually moving in and out. So that's adjusting. See there, look, and that's obviously bringing it in nice and tight. I'm going away, and that'll make the gap a lot bigger. So basically, I'll just position that so it looks about central, and then that goes in the four-wheel alignment machine. That'll get it all sorted. So I'm going to give this a quick nip, not too much. Then we've got the back one, which is your 21. So just a tiny little nip. Like I say, this will all get checked again in the morning, just when Gary just comes back on it. Right, and then you've got your brake pipe flexi here. So obviously that needs a little clean up. Right, so there's a little clean up with the wire brush. That's just so I can get there's a retaining clip goes on here. Lovely. Even that, get a little dash of grease just on the outside, not on the inside. Don't want that next to your brake fluid. So that goes in that hole there. It's actually got a little flat so it'll only go one way. I did see one of the retaining clips on the floor, but I think we'll keep them in stock anyway, so we'll stick a new one on there while it's there. Also, I'm just going to put a little dab of grease onto this, the rubber, which is on the ABS sensor. Actually, I'll move that brake pipe I've just put in, put the ABS cable in there. Right, so that's it. Brake pipes refitted. So then these little holes here are for the ABS wire and the pad wear indicator if it's fitted with one. It's not fitted on this side, so a little tiny bit of grease just helps that slip in like that, lovely and easy. A little bit on there, straight in. This one goes into here. Right, so I think we are done with the grease. Everything is greased up. Right, so the pipe we've got to fit tomorrow there's a brake pipe runs from this flexi to this flexi. Obviously need a flexible pipe in there because when the pub is going up and down, obviously over bumps in the road, you can't have a hard pipe. Obviously it would just bend and then end up snapping. So a couple of flexible hoses on there. So we've got one lands just here. So it goes from here round, makes its way up to this pipe here. That'll bring them back round. Luckily this caliper was changed not so long ago, so the bleeding will come off here, no problem at all. I'll just run through with Gary in the morning what's been done, what hasn't been done. So I'll get him to put the brake pipe in, tighten these joints up. Once it's all built back up, there's a little anti-roll bar clamp to go on this side here. I've just found that clip there, look, so that's one of the retaining clips for the brake pipe. It's a bit worse for wear, that we'll get a new one I think out the stores. So now we've replaced that joint, top arm, comes with the two bushes at the back, all new bolt kit in. We'll replace this brake pipe with a new one because the one that came off was serviceable, but for the sake of a couple of quid, we'll just refit another one and then we'll know that's good to go. I think that's me about done for tonight. Torch is going flat. So that is me done on here. I'll do a quick show around the garage. So you can tell it's been pretty busy today. So my boxes looks like it's been absolutely trashed. I've ended up with this tool card full, this tool card full, and I've got Andy's little roll cab over here. This is full to the brim, trying to get this injector out of the Jag. So it did leave some fluid in there, down next to that injector. I think that's still there, just to try and free it up. We've still got these two on the back of the wagon, so we've diagnosed this one. The timing chain's actually jumped, so a bit poor really. It's only got 18,000 miles, full dealer history. Car's a 2017, and this one here is also a 2017, and that's snap the time belt. So two similar jobs. Hopefully on this little Blingo we'll get away with just putting the time belt and water pump on. Got away with that quite a bit, but sometimes in one of the previous videos we showed you that we had to put a new camshaft and everything in, new rockers, and I think it bent some valves. We're just waiting on authorisation now for British Red Cross, so they'll come back to us tomorrow giving us the go ahead for the radiator. We've got this Freelander in, centre locking problem, and this is the Can Phantom vehicle. So this will be getting a Can Phantom fit in the morning, keep this vehicle super secure. and that's just in for get the alignment done. This is the one that had the Ingenium engine trouble. That was all sorted. No management lights now, driving perfect. Just like I say, customer noticed the steering wheel's out a tiny little bit, so I'll be getting 4-wheel alignment. Big Daphne, the truck, just absolutely desperate for a wash. That's probably the dirtiest that we've ever seen her. Look at the state of that. That's probably the worst handwriting I've ever. That's supposed to say clean me. Hopefully we'll get that washed tomorrow. Look at the state of it. It's minging. All out there. Absolutely minging. But like I say, hopefully get that washed tomorrow. Weather's been pretty poor. Put it on the back of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be holding the camera because he does a damn sight better job than me. It is currently 10 to 11 at night. That's why it's silent. Everyone's gone home. So while everyone's in their bed, I'm making loads of noise in the garage. We'll see you tomorrow. That should be on Wednesday. Hopefully we're fully staffed and raring to go. Good night. Right, it's Wednesday the 4th and it's after work. I had no time at all today. Another mental day. Eventually, Andy's had enough time to get the engine out of the Ranger. So there is a problem with the head gasket, but I think this has been another victim of the radiator weld steel seal problem. There's all the holes in the water jacket. These were all blocked solid. We've had to actually use a little hammer and a tiny driver and chisel that stuff away into the water jacket because it looks like someone's put some of that stuff, that rad weld in, and it's blocked the holes. It's probably had either the EGR cooler, which sits on the back here, that might be blocked, or there's been another problem. That could have been leaking, sorry. Someone's put that in to solve the problem, and then it's been traded in, and thus where we are at the minute. So this has already had a new water pump. We fit that the other day. As it was leaking up the back, you can see we're all around here. So everywhere it's all pink around here. It's even on the front of the pulley around here. So the water pump was leaking. It was just under a lot of pressure. This is a massive pile of bits here that we've amassed on the strip down. Andy somehow knows exactly where that goes. He's going to get that back together. That's everything from the cylinder head. That's all the bolts and everything. This is cylinder head, so it's a 5-cylinder. This one. So if you look under there, these are the water holes here. We've had to scrape some of these out. That'll go and get skimmed and pressure tested tomorrow. That's the big gearbox out of it. Will that sit there properly or not? That'll sit like that. That's all the cams, the top end of it. There's not anything blatant on the gasket, but even the holes in the gasket have been blocked up. So it's definitely had some sort of rad weld in it. This Sprinter was a nice and easy one. It was an MOT, but it passed. Transit's in for service MOT. You'll get health checked at the same time, obviously. This Range Rover's been on pretty much all day, even after I done the back end last night on that arm. It's had the boot switch done, so that switch never worked for a long time. That one there, so that works perfect now. It's had the gearbox service done, rear anti-roll bar clamp was put on, as we didn't have that. I thought we had it in stock, but we didn't. The tyres are all done, engine service. I think literally tomorrow morning, once the under tray on, basically just checking for leaks, all that sort of stuff, put a new service sticker in, and that needs a retest. Once that's been retested, then that can go back to Dan. It'll need a bit of a wash as well. This Neps fan, this was parked outside the other day. This has ended up, I think, if you come through here, Aye, so this one was a new spring, snap spring, and the strut top had all collapsed. Just where the springs let go. Everything else feels alright, this is not too bad. And also, you can see there, the CV boot's been leaking. So I've got nothing to clean it off with, but that CV boot's been leaking, so that'll get cut off, and we'll use a tool, put a new CV boot on there. You can see where all the grease has been there. It's been flicking around as it's been driving. You don't want your CV boot split. If that's split, that'll end up going flicking around, and it goes onto all your brake components. Obviously, grease on your brakes is a no-go. I don't know whether we're going to do anything with this panel damage here. The wings seem to overlap on the door now. This transit, this has been in a couple of times before, but this time it's actually burst the power steering pipe. Quite common, we keep them in stock. Basically it's a steel feed pipe, an aluminium return pipe. The steel pipe just rots away on the clips where it goes onto the body. Obviously drop all the fluid out, it's under pressure, so it does lose quite a bit. Whether it's damaged the pump, I'm not sure. So we'll get that, get the new lines on, flush it out. Hopefully the rack and the pump should be fine. My toolbox is still an absolute disgrace, really. It's probably worse than it was yesterday. Just been taking stuff out and just hiding it back in. But I will spend 20 minutes tonight. I'll get everything back in its home and give the box a wipe down. It's looking sorry for itself. This little C3 just in for, luckily just in for a quick diag. The lights on the dash. We'll have a quick look, see what the problem with that is. I think we'll take a little walk outside it. See what's done and what's not. Try and jump over here somehow. 4 tires being dropped off for something. Right. So, Magnum's never moved. Fiesta's in for tomorrow. This is just in for get the heat shield. That just wants fixing back up the heat shield. I'll do that tonight. This L200 is in for a battery. We're still waiting on the wheel from Land Rover for the Disco Sport, where that's being digged in the snow. Death Row is still filling up a little bit, but I don't think there's much change in the back. Mondeo is ready to go. That failed its MOT, the Amarok today. That failed on both rear calipers, were basically seized on, so it's wore away some of the brake pad. There's no adjustment left. The guy's never actually noticed because he never used the handbrake. It's automatic, he just puts it in park like everybody does. It's come for its MOT. It's probably the first time the handbrake's been used in a year, and it's just non-existent. So just waiting for him to get back to us in the morning, and then we should know if he's authorised that or not. The storage place, big transit, that got done. That was a nice van actually. The door's been swung open in the wind. We serviced it, but I noticed that the door had been swung open in the wind and it was catching the wing. So you can sometimes get away with just put a rubber block behind the hinge, close the door, and that pushed that hinge back out for you. Anyway, it's adjusted up perfect, and the guy's over the moon. So this is the M5 that's in. So this did get diagged, and we're literally just waiting on time and parts. All the parts in, it's authorised, and we've got some time in the diary tomorrow. So this M5 will come in for injectors. Hopefully they do not get stuck like the Jaguar injectors, but they are the same injector, or very similar, same in shape, the body and everything. Probably different flow rates, but exactly the same design, the way they go in. So hopefully they don't get stuck in the same as that, because if it does, that will be a nightmare. The JLS, I've still been using that, come back and forward to work. Never had 2 seconds to get that in the workshop. I think all the parts are in now, so that's just all the pads and the service gear, but I will get it in. And this little Clio, this got recovered in with a broken front spring. It's a previous customer, so we've took him in and we're going to help him out and get him on the road this week. But when, I just do not know, because the diary is absolutely crazy. The JD Pace car, that got a new tyre. That got drove down on a flat tyre, so the tyre was cabouged. New tyres all done, it's sorted. I'll leave you I'll leave you there, and I think we can see Jimmy. Jimmy, are you busy? Always busy. Jimmy's even busy after work. Right, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. That'll be Thursday. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday the 5th. Just going on to the first drop off here on the recoveries. Just dropping off Honda Newcastle. And then I've got an Audi A3 to pick up in Gosforth. Then there's, I think, 2 Land Rover Range Rovers. And then there's a couple more this afternoon. Hopefully I'll get a bit of breakfast in between then. Left the garage last night at about, I think it was about 5:12. Got back to the garage at about 6:15 this morning. Diary's just full to the brim, there's no room for anything else, but you know, if a customer breaks down, you've still got to go and recover them and, you know, make time to repair their car. For one of our customers, you've just got to do that sort of thing. Speed camper van there, just taking people's money for nothing. We've had a couple of customers lately have been asking, you know, would we price match on a recovery? And unfortunately we don't price match on recovery, and we don't price match in the workshop either. The price that we'll give you, it'll always be the best price first, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, we probably will never win on price. We will win on customer service, quality of parts, you know, the technicians' capabilities, the equipment that we use. So the guy yesterday was he wanted his Range Rover recovered. So we had quoted £180 plus the VAT. That was to go from Washington to Newcastle. So he said, I've been quoted £50, guy can do it straight away. And we said to him, you know, we think it's impossible to do that job for £50. You know, any overheads wouldn't be covered by £50 if you had the right overheads. So if you had the right insurance, if you had the right truck, you know, you had the right fuel in it, everything was all right, doing that job for £50 would be impossible. So unless that recovery company's won the lottery and they are, you know, doing it for charity and giving away, then they can't be doing it legitimately. So remember, so then what happened was, the guy rang us back and said, listen, can you come and do the job? So we said, oh, did the other company drop out? And they didn't drop out. What actually happened was, they turned up with a like a VW Crafter, Transit, whatever it was, to put his Range Rover on the back. The guy had seen our previous video, so he questioned him and said, oh, you know, will that go on the back of there? Yeah, it'll go on. But once he started asking about weights, is it legal? You know, the guy's apparently said, no, it's not quite legal, but you know, I'm only going a few miles, so it doesn't really matter. But unfortunately it does matter. You could lose your car and the guy will lose his truck because it's not legal, it's not safe. You know, remember, if something small turns up at your house, you know, they barely put a VW Passat on the back and be legal. So how can they put a Ranger on the back and that be legal? It's impossible. So remember, if you've got anything bigger than maybe it's a Clio or a Megane, then you should be looking at a company who's got a truck right for the job. Do not look for the cheapest price. You know, you don't want the cheapest. Yeah, you don't want the most expensive. I'm not saying the most expensive is always the best, but you know, look for a reputable company who's got the right equipment, like I say, right insurance, right driver? Have they got the license for the job? Everything that you need. Question the driver, question the company before you even come out. Have you got that, and are you willing to provide it to us? And if they're not, then thanks for your time, call somebody else. You know, if you're in our front desk and say, listen, when you send the driver, can you send him with a copy of his license, his insurance, you know, public liability, road risk, goods in transit, anything you want. The driver should have his taco card in if it's for vehicle transport. He doesn't need his taco if it's for recovery. But we just use our taco anyway. You know, you should be taking your brakes when you should be taking your brakes. The brakes are there for a reason. Has the truck been checked? I mean, we see trucks out and about on the road, recovery trucks. Now they've got snap springs, you can see blatantly from the back, the tyres are bald. I certainly wouldn't want my Range Rover go on the back of that. You know, you're going to let your pride and joy go on the back of this, like, horrible old recovery truck, or even if it's brand new, it doesn't matter, it's not going to cut the mustard because it's overweight. So remember that your Range Rover, Discovery, Freelander, whatever, probably weighs the same as that recovery truck, so there's no way that recovery truck's going to stop in a safe distance. So remember, just use the right company. You haven't got to use us, just, there's loads of recovery companies, especially in the northeast. You know, if you've got any recovery job, just make sure it's a proper company. Use somebody like Hoddies, you can use us. There's Alpha, there's CF Recovery, there's, in the northeast, there's a total abundance of recovery companies. A lot of companies I wouldn't touch, but there's a lot of companies who are really reputable, been going a lot longer than us, some of them. You know, in recovery, we're fairly new to it. We'll certainly stick by the rules, but there's companies who've been here a long, long time. You give them a call, give us a call, ask them any questions you want, and I know they'll always give you the right answers because they've been doing it a long time. So we are just coming towards the Redriff Bridge in Newcastle to cross over the Tyne. We'll get this dropped off at Honda on Scotswood Road, and then on to Gosforth for the next one.
I came to party, yeah, I came to dance. Already made reservations. Nobody stands in the way of my plans. I ain't got that kind of patience. The end of the week, I turn to a freak. Go out and forget all my cares. Putting my hands in the air, looking so good from my heels to my hair. Good times, good vibes. I wanna be in the spotlight. Turn up, no lies. Doing whatever I like. Nothing but music is feeling the air. Moving my body so everyone stares. This is my moment, all eyes on me. I'm on the dance floor, bringing that heat. I came to party, yeah, I came to dance. Already made reservations. Nobody stands in the way of my plans. I ain't got that kind of patience. The end of the week, I turn to a freak. Go out and forget all my cares. Putting my hands in the air, looking so good from my heels to my hair. Good times, good vibes. I wanna be in the spotlight. Turn up, no lies. Doing whatever I like. Nothing but music is feeling the air. Moving my body so everyone stares.
Right, this is Friday at 3 o'clock, last day of the week. Well, for some, I'll probably work tomorrow anyway, but it is the last day for the lads. M5 has been in today. That is, that's all sorted, had the injectors in. Yet another NEPS fan in. In fact, there's another NEPS fan over there. This one's in MOT. It's failed, not the end of the world failure, but it's failed anyway. This little Corsa is in, so that's basically snapped off the exhaust. So the ladies came in and said you can hear a funny noise, but there's a big hole in the exhaust. I've just noticed there that also, if I have a little look here, that piece of the spring snapped off, not good. What's happening, Steve Money?
Clutch and the really tight bolt.
Clutch and a mother truck and tight bolt.
Oh, it's getting flywheel.
And it's getting the flywheel. The 5-speed or 6-speed? It's a 6-speed. So we're getting a clutch and flywheel and a ABS sensor. Very good, Callum. Knows more than me. And this one is in for the same clutch and flywheel. Gearbox is out now. Flywheel is absolutely cabbaged. It's actually spun on itself, so we can't get the flywheel bolts out, so just waiting for them bolts to turn up. Clutch is also knackered as well. All the bits are here apart from them flywheel bolts, so we'll get them in. There's the new gearbox bearings in. There's the old bearing, I think we spoke about them before, concentric bearing. New ones in there, gearbox is prepped, ready to go back in. Let's see, the M5 is done. That's getting the drive shaft. And we're going to capture Andy.
Oh no!
Oh no! This is ready, pretty much ready to go back together, but there's no head gasket yet. It was supposed to be here, couriered this morning, but unfortunately DPD, you've let us down. Not only have you let us down, you let yourself down. So, waiting for a head gasket for that once that's done. Top of the block's all prepped. All the boards been honed out to get rid of that horrible rusty marks. It's already had new water pump fitted. I think the new timing chain, everything's all here. All the bits are here apart from the head of the gasket. I think if I little wander outside, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, they've just come in. Oak tyres, done me a really good deal. I had to buy all the tyres of anyway, but they're for my own M4 because the tyres are a little bit worse for wear. And outside is the wheel. Because the wheel came today for this Disco Sport. The customer actually bought his own wheel because we couldn't get one off Land Rover on back order. But unfortunately, he's actually bought one like that, which is for a Disco 5, not a Disco Sport. Totally different offset, different stuff, everything's different. So that went to go on. That didn't go very well. So the customer's been informed he's going to get that picked back up. An exchange after a Discovery Sport one. What else have we got? The big JLS is outside now, that's sorted. I think that is about it, I think. This little Clio was just a spring, that's all done. Fiesta was the service. Tesla was in the workshop but I got pulled back out. Don't know if it's done yet or not, I'll have to speak to the guys. The British Red Cross one got finished last night. That's ready to go. Hopefully we're picking up some patience. I'll just double check what the numbers are for last week's video. Sorry, not last week's, the week before. So, right at the minute on 27,300 views, which is our best video yet. Hopefully this video gets much more. I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again. Thank you very much to everybody who's watching. A lot more people seem to be pushing it for us, so it's going through their social media. So if I share it and you share it and somebody else shares it, great. Let's get it out there. I'm assuming people are liking the longer episodes. There seems to be more people commenting, more people liking it, and obviously there's a lot more views. So we used to be amazed, and we still are amazed if we get 5,000 views. We're still amazed. You know, this is episode 23. So that means we've been doing an episode every week. So in 23 weeks, if we are getting 5,000 views, I'm over the moon. But obviously now we're getting 27,000 views. It's unbelievable, really. Me and Ed were talking the other day. We expected maybe to take more than a year to be getting, say, 5,000 or 6,000 views. Now we're pushing towards 30,000. It's unbelievable. We do take all your comments on board. We can't change everything in a week, but if you comment and you say you want to see something, we'll try our best if we can to get them in for you. Let's say we want to do more out and about. We've done a little bit this week in the truck. Obviously much more next week as well. So at the minute, Ed is doing any sort of camera work in here with me, and I'm taking the GoPro out and about with me if I'm going by myself. Remember, Ed's not like my backpack, he doesn't just follow me everywhere. Ed's got his own work to do, so when Ed's busy or if he's upstairs or if I'm going out by myself, I'll take that little GoPro. Obviously the footage is not as good, there's no audio, there's no microphone, nothing like that, but that's the best we're going to get at the minute. Hopefully one day we'll just have a full, 30-man film crew following us everywhere we go. I doubt that's going to happen, but you never know. Like I say, if you can like, share, subscribe, press the bell, any buttons you see on our YouTube, just push any button. Like it, anything you want. Comment, the more the merrier. If you can push it on your social media, I think we're on Facebook, Instagram, on my personal Facebook, I always push it on there, obviously so friends of friends of friends see it. I don't think I've got 27,000 friends, so there's obviously more people than just people that we know pushing it. The next week, a lot of big jobs next week, obviously that Ford Ranger should have been done today really, but that'll be going back together on Monday now, hopefully if the DPD turn up with the gasket. If not, that'll obviously run it Tuesday. Hopefully the wheel next week comes for that Disco Sport. We've also got possibly a body coming off a Range Rover Sport for a turbo. Engine hopefully be here next week for that little Mini. So there's endless amounts of big jobs happening. Hopefully they all get crammed into next week. I've checked the diary, there's not a lot of space. If you are needing something serviced or repaired, something smaller, we would try and squeeze in if you're an existing customer. If you're a new customer, Jimmy will try his best. Jimmy's busiest man in the garage, so he will try, but you never know. Also, I just want to say, remember when we get to 5,000 subscribers, then we're going to give away the £500. If I'm feeling a little bit more generous, if we keep getting these 27,000 views, I might give a little more away, or I might give two £500 away. I'll see what I feel like on the day, but someone is definitely going to win £500 on that 5,000 subscribers. Also, when we get to 10,000, that little, it's a Fiat. It's a Panda 100 horsepower, that's what it is. So the little Panda 100 horsepower, that'll be getting given away. That's in our storage unit, so that's sitting next to the Mustang and the M Coupe and all that. That's all tucked away with the cover on, waiting for its new owner. I might try and use that maybe next month or the month after, when the weather gets a bit warmer. It's all just been valeted and cleaned, so ready for the new guys or gals, whoever gets it. So I don't really want to ruin it, but I will try and get a little bit of footage if I out and about in that cool little car. So thanks very much for watching. This episode's probably the longest one we've ever done. Been getting quite a bit of footage in and out. I hope to see you again next week. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Can't wait to see you. Cheers.
I came to party, yeah, I came to dance. Already made reservations. Nobody stands in the way of my plans. I ain't got that kind of patience. The end